Carrying old wounds. The weight becomes quite heavy this week. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs of Taurus. Welcome to Channel the Future Tarot. We're going to do the Tower Tarot spread this week. Something new, something transformational. We're coming to a collective transformational time. Don't be alarmed by the spread. It's not meant to scare you. It's meant to do kind of the opposite. Liberate, change our course correction if need be. But before we jump into that, as you can see, I smudged your energy. We're going to use a singing bowl. Take that deep breath in and exhale whenever you feel so inclined to do so. Peace, love, health, and wealth. If this resonates with you, please like, share, or subscribe. It means a lot to me to see the channel growing. Alright, so let's get started. While I was meditating on your energy, sort of drawing your oracle messages, it was a really profound energy that came through. A real sense of stuckness, but a sense of stuck because of there's a need to get what you want, when and how you want it, so to speak. Stuck in the Mud came out, card number 24 in reverse. Again, you're a little stuck, but it is of your own making, a resistance to see something. Doing the same old thing, expecting a different result, right? And understanding that there's a need for some sort of course correction. We also got Metamorphosis. This is 25 in reverse, stuck in transition, not wanting to change or course correct, seeing something. Going to be relearning a lesson in some ways if you keep doing, again, the same old thing. We also got Dragon's Lair in reverse. Now, there's, again, a sense of being cautious about our surroundings or who we're putting energy out there to, but also within our own self. The negative thought patterns that are coming in within our mind can be, causing a muck, right? Causing a lot of, lack, for lack of a better word, just forgiveness, stuck in that sense of anger, resentment, animosity, not seeing things forward. You have God or whoever supports you, divine, for some of you. Sustains me here. It says, as I turn each day over to divine, my worries ease and my resistance softens. In the arms of divine's love, I find inner peace, even in challenging times. Today my faith provides me with great strength, and I welcome all that comes my way, knowing that the love of the divine sustains me. Whether you're spiritual or not, it's a great time to connect with your higher self, spiritual power, whatever sort of resonates with you there. And, get in touch with that energy. We also have that fiery climax approaches, that full moon in Aries. We just had that full moon on the 14th in the sign of Libra. So that could have started or initiated some powerful transitional points for you, emotionally, physically, wrapping things up for some of you. But I feel like there's a sense of whatever you've been carrying is kind of becoming a heavy weight. We're going to take a look at that Tower Tarot spread. Now, cards 1 to 4 will represent the structure. 1 will be what foundational principles, or structures are kind of being challenged for you. Number 2 will be why. 3 will how you can ease that transition. 4 is what's the lesson in this shakeup for you. And cards 5 to 7 will represent that lightning strike. 5 is the release. 6 is rethinking. And 7 is rebuilding. So let's see what's coming in here for Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs of Taurus. What foundational structures, beliefs, or principles are being challenged for Taurus? Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs of Taurus. We will clarify this as well. So we'll just get out all cards so we can get an accurate picture of what's sort of coming in here for you. I'm picking up this card. 2 of Wands coming in. Alright, so it's interesting. This is, for some of you, resistance or looking forward to the new, having to turn your back on something in the past. Why is this coming out for Taurus? Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus on Taurus. Why is the 2 of Wands coming out for Taurus? The Six of Wands, that's a rite of passage for you, a moment of victory, a change, you know. One's looking forward, one's looking, you know, neither one's looking this way. I feel like there's a sense of ignoring something there for me. Okay. How can Taurus ease this transition? How can Taurus ease its transition? How can Taurus, and they're both Aries, Leo, Sagittarius energy. Could be dealing with one of those signs. We got that Four of Pentacles rooted in a sort of foundation, money, right? Being guarded, holding what's important to you quite tight to your chest, you know? Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn energy, that is your energy as well. What is in the lesson? What's the lesson in this shakeup for Taurus here? There's a Tower card on the bottom of the deck. It has been making an appearance for a lot of the signs collectively. So, I guess that's only natural in the Tower tarot spread, right? We have Strength card coming out here for you. What the lesson in this is, the strength, that inner fortitude. And I don't think, you know, that's lacking here for you in some ways, but I think this is a sense of defining what the strength is for you, what real, true strength is in that way, is kind of being redefined. What's in the release here for Taurus? And what is Taurus releasing? What is Taurus releasing? Okay, we got that Three of Pentacles coming out. So collaboration, working as a team in some ways. In whether it's love, you know, career, whatever it is, there's a sense of not willing to, you're releasing that sense of, yeah, collaboration, working as a partner or team in some way. What does Taurus need to rethink here? The Chariot, your determination to go forward here. You need to rethink about which sort of direction I feel like you're taking or sort of going towards in a way here. There's a need for you to reassess that, okay? What does Taurus need to do to rebuild? What does Taurus need to do to rebuild? Okay, that Ten of Pentacles coming out. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn energy. All right, so you're rebuilding towards that white picket fence, that happy life, that determination. There's Three of Wands on the bottom of the deck. Again, there's a sense of looking at something for what it is. Going forward with a new sense of beginning here. We're going to clarify that Two of Wands for Taurus, please. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, signs Taurus. Clarify that Two of Wands. Clarify the Two of Wands for Taurus. Yeah, I got that Nine of Wands restriction here. You know, that's what it's because something that you've been guarded against, hiding behind, sort of masking in some ways, just being restricted. Why is that Six of Wands? Clarify that Six of Wands for Taurus. Clarifying that Six of Wands for Taurus. That Ten of Swords coming out. Betrayal, you know, defeat, loss, coming in. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Tens are endings and new beginnings. This could be, you know, why this is being changed for you. Clarifying that Four of Pentacles for Taurus, please. We'll break it all down in a second here. Clarifying that Four of Pentacles for Taurus. There's the Lover's card for you. So it could be around, you know, money and love for some of you. There's a choice between two options here for some of you as well. I feel like if you choose and follow your heart, that will be the best course of action. Can I clarify the Strength card for Taurus? Clarifying the Strength card for Taurus. And that Page of Pentacles coming out. It's coming out in reverse. So information or sort of, you know, around money, opportunity around money could be coming in there with you, you know, and that's what you need to have that strength of conviction for. Clarifying that Three of Pentacles for Taurus, please. Clarify. Three of Pentacles. I guess there's two cards there. Yeah, there is. Okay, we got the Eight of Swords there. Restriction. Okay, again, tied up. This is a mental tied up. You're stuck in a, you know, a prison of your own making, essentially. There, you know, Taurus, there's a lot of restriction with that card. And it is mental restriction here for you. You got double eights out as well. Clarifying that Chariot card for Taurus. Once you move out of this mental restriction, I feel like, or this mental sort of, I want to say just game that sort of, you know, angry, frustrated, sort of tense energy. You got the Five of Pentacles coming out. Abandonment here. You could be abandoning something going forward because you got the Chariot as that determined to go forward, and the Five of Pentacles to clarify. So you could be abandoning, walking away from something, Taurus or Capricorn. And, you know, for some it's going to feel like being thrown out in the cold. There's a sense of being in the cold energy with that. Clarifying that Ten of Pentacles for Taurus. Clarifying that Ten of Pentacles for Taurus. Page of Wands. Okay, so again, there's in this opportunity that could be coming in, but you could be not seeing it because you're stuck in this abandonment state of poverty mindset here. You got the Nine of Cups on the bottom of the deck. Wish fulfillment is coming in. You got the Hermit as well on the bottom of the deck. There's a conflict or a rising restriction within yourself, or, you know, the energies around you. There is a shakeup that's happening, but I think this is an internal shakeup where, you know, you're struggling between one or two things, which way to go forward here in some ways. I feel like many people spend years stuck in that energy between what was hope for and what is, right? And we're often faced with that choice that, you know, between two emotional experiences, feeling disappointed or feeling stuck, right? The Two of Wands, again, for me, just sort of just picks, you know, just that, right? You can choose to feel the disappointment that what they sort of have is no longer what they long for. But this is also experience a sense of hopelessness, right? Fear, sort of core beliefs about what, you know, the world and its ability to meet your needs right now. I feel like there's a sense, again, like that stuck in the mud. There's a choice of being stuck. You're dulling your instincts. You're losing vitality. You know, if you are considering a path of disappointment, you know, keep in mind that the side effects will likely dissipate if you accept that the choice you made is not what you wanted and move on from that place, right? Whereas the side effects of choosing to feel stuck will likely only grow. So, you know, what are you choosing to do here? Stay stuck in the mud here, or you're choosing to kind of move past it and see it for what it is? Well, that'll be up to you. But for some of you, this Nine of Wands, you're really stuck in a sense of restriction. You've got your mind all up in there believing one thing, and there's no open to perspective. You're not open to anything. You're very closed off and judgmental in that sense. And I mean this in the nicest way possible, but doing so isn't going to get you anywhere but just that, stuck in more of a rut. You know, there's a sense of being in that face of adversity here. You know, you are trying to stand tall and strong, yes, but you're persistent and you're ready to do what it takes to get to the finish line, but you're kind of bulldozing your way through it, not emotionally addressing it for what it is, and that could be causing some, at the end of the day, more restriction within yourself, because you might not be logically seeing the things that are being caused in the moment. There's the Six of Wands, like I said, there's a sense of victory, right? You know, why this is coming in, because I feel like for some of you, you may even feel a little bit victorious. Success, but, you know, this is asking the questions about how we define success, where your definition come from, and then how well it actually aligns with what you hold precious. So when you actually achieve, when you are satisfied by your efforts, you're, you know, relieved to keep the parts of ourselves that, you know, you see as bad or unwanted under wraps for another day, or something else entirely, right? This is you kind of looking at that energy, what it is that is, you know, how you view success. And And there could be a betrayal in how you see success or how you go forward in success. I feel like there is a sense of whatever this is kind of your version of success is being stripped away here in some way. You know, in a way that sort of course corrects or changes the way you see, you know, work relationships, any kind of relationship, I feel like. But there is this traumatic and sudden ending here that is sort of breaking you apart in some ways, but there's a positive to this, that this is creating a space for something new to emerge, like I said. But it is going to have to be something that you know, you really sort of get to the bottom of why this is. I feel like it is a repeating pattern and probably reoccurring time and time again in many relationships for you or situations, because it's there's not an addressal here. There's no way, right? This Four of Pentacles, you know, this is that sense of what you can sort of do to ease the situation. This is that block me card. So I feel like you have to change the way, the understanding and the way you relate to something, you know. This is that, you know, stories don't mirror life, they shape it, right? And this could be sort of what's occurring for you. You know, the fact that you even identified something as a block is a clear sign that, you know, movement can happen for you. Hitting a wall is only possible if you're trying to move in a direction, right? So there is a sense of great power in that desire to move, yes, but that desire is in itself that protest from within yourself, Taurus. It's a statement, you know, sort of declaration that you're not okay with being stuck in this particular way, and you certainly don't plan to shape your life around it. You're starting to move forward, and you know the pain of the past is evident. You have two choices, or it could be just a union coming in, but it is your structures away around love, or you know, the way you view relationships, and I feel like that's been again changing. You know, here you're understanding the way you're relating and what you're doing in this situation. Again, stories don't mirror life, they shape it. And I feel like you're looking at maybe a possibility of a lover that does shape that or mirror your energy back to you. And that could be a little bit of a struggle to deal with at the end of the day. Strength card coming out for you. Finding that inner fortitude. This isn't brute force strength. This is that strength that comes from resilience, perseverance, understanding yourself, that great wisdom that comes from knowledge and life lessons. And that isn't defined by that, you know, ego-going strength. That's not what that is about. And I feel like you are learning that at a really powerful time, and seeing how, you know, it's changed you, right? You know, this is that sort of wise mind energy as well. And I feel like that's coming to, you know, but strength for me is those old guardians that, you know, guard our lives, right? They guard our thresholds, and there's those eternal gatekeepers, right? And there's an energy of looking at what is the, you know, the aim to look at how we allow the terms of strength. Like, so strength is that force, you know, that it's within us, right? And I feel like it's about humility, curiosity, kindness. That's what true strength is. You know, you're passing that threshold because you are all those things. You're leaving behind important lessons, and you're understanding that you can't outrun or hide from or deny or even destroy the things that, you know, aren't necessarily the best parts of yourself. You have to work through them. You honor, you know, the humanity of yourselves in these difficult experiences. You know, you discover that, in fact, you know, it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger. This puts you on your path and helps you sort of redirect it. This Page of Pentacles coming out for you in reverse is, again, ignoring information, people, place, or thing, or just ignoring a situation that you know. You're afraid to take the next step for some of you, and I feel like that's obvious, but you're worried that you don't have the skills to be successful. You're not, you know, you are sort of procrastinating. You're holding yourself back from making this come true. You have what you need to do, and the things will come in progress if you start to take those steps. But again, you know, you're going to have to do just that. That Three of Pentacles, that sense of releasing your ability or your lack of ability to, you know, participate or collaborate, is going to cause you some restriction. Maybe you just don't feel like you have to or need to. This is a sense of you kind of learning to, you know, release your thoughts about that, right? This is that edge where personal limits are seen and accounted for, and it sort of makes way for the emergence of something that's possible. And, but it requires that you own your strengths and limits and honor those, right? And, in order to see what might arise from that space in between. And yeah, know your limits and know when to hold them, know when to fold them. This Eight of Swords coming in for you is restriction, mental restriction. What do you need to release? Is that sense of not believing or achieving, not believing that it can be, right? You're trapped by your thoughts in your situation that you are in. You're not the victim, right? It appears that you have few choices, but the bindings around you are loose, right? So if you change your thoughts, you change your life. You know what I'm saying? I repeat this a lot. So you're stuck in this mental prison by choice here of just not letting go. This Chariot card comes in. You're determined to rethink, strategy. I agree. Rethinking is definitely wise here, but how you rethink it is going to be important. Your determination to sort of bulldoze that, or is, careful, right? Willpower is that perfect tool for certain challenges, like external ones, where you have, some amount of control over the outcome, such as, passing a test or whatever. But willpower is not so helpful when it comes to internal challenges like social anxiety, or grief, right? We're given many stories from the time we're kids, to value our, about the value of our sort of willpower and pushing through obstacles, right? We all know this story, but we're not given the stories about what happens, when willpower is the wrong skill for our circumstance. We're not really set up to fail well, right? Life's both yeses and nos, good and bad, and we get what we want. We don't always get what we want all the time, and sometimes we do get what we want, only to realize it's a trap, and now we're hopelessly stuck, as though we're kind of cemented inside a vehicle we want out of, right? Then what? Right? This is that limitation of willpower and the dangers of believing life is simply a series of completing these tasks, and is sort of yoking these wild bulls, right? And to do what they want them to do. It's true that willpower can take us many places. We should keep in mind that stuckness is one of them. And that's where you kind of been stuck in that mud over and over and over. Five of Pentacles. With this sense of abandonment, stuck in poverty mindset. You're really stuck in this sense of not believing, and you are creating what you believe, what you think about, you bring about. So again, take a look at that mindset. You're experiencing some sort of financial loss, poverty, there's isolation and alone. Help is nearby, but you're too focused on your own financial problems, right? You may be sabotaging your ability to create what you want because you're, again, stuck in this sense of lack. And you're going to create more of it. This Ten of Pentacles, you can have this rebuilding of this happy life, white picket fence, but you're going to have to take the steps necessary. You're going to have to look at the structures that need to be shaped or changed, what your role is in that. And that honest reflection is necessary, right? Not easy to do, but necessary. And that's where we get sort of hung up in that mess, was we don't want to take that honest reflection. It's easier for us to address everything else and everybody else's problems and who they are. But to take that honest look at what we brought to the table is a different story. So you have something stirring, inside you, emerging within you, but you don't know where to turn it into action. You're on that, path, but you're preferring to keep this to yourself. And that could be good for you to do so now. But again, life isn't, mirroring these stories for you. They're shaping them for you. So what stories are you repeating? Because they're shaping your course correction. Until next time, namaste.